It doesn't make a difference, keep the competition coming. And I recite chapter in verse. The title of this recital is Ladies First.
Martha Diaz is our curator and host for this afternoon, and she's the founder and director of the Hip Hop Association in New York. But even more importantly, I feel like Martha is a dear friend and sister. She's been a supporter of our hip hop festival, even though she produces her own events, since we started this event 10 years ago. This is the 10-year anniversary of our hip hop festival. Yes.
I just want to, I guess, set up what the Ladies First Fund is. I thought of this idea a few years ago, and I was really just fed up with the misogyny, the violence of hip-hop, of one side of hip-hop, of one small sector of hip-hop. And I started to look at what was happening around the world, and I started to see that it was actually all women were experiencing. I created the Womanhood Learning Project, and it's a 3-part project where we have a platform where we're discussing the issues. This book, which this is only a preview copy, will help fund what is now the Ladies First Fund, which is the 3rd component of the Womanhood Learning Project. I wanted not only to empower my women in hip-hop, but I felt that if I did that, it will empower all women. And what I like for the women on the panel to do is introduce your work, talk a little bit about your history, and then we'll have a discussion. This sister has been going into detention centers and schools, teaching kids, empowering them through hip-hop. And I've met her a few years here at NJPAC, and she's consistent, reliable. This sister is known as Purple Haze. Please give it up for Miss Purple Haze.
Thank you, Martha, NJPAC family. Thank you, Newark and the greater Essex County and all over area. Thank you, hip-hoppers. Yes, I am Shakia, lyrically known as Purple Haze, New York native, citizen of Newark now. It is always important that I mention that because the way Newark has extended and embraced me and was the first place where I got to experience arts education. I am an MC, a FEMC, and I was taught to use the mic as a tool. And in doing so as a young girl, from B-girl first to MC, back in my Bronx days, it is a vessel, it is an extension, and an opportunity for me to amplify thoughts, feelings, emotions. It's a way to connect, and a lifesaver, and that's hip-hop.
Please give it up for Rokafella.
This is a life career for us, all of us here. We're not leaving for no reason. And I did start up first just in the Bronx, chilling, hanging out with guys, learning the dance, breaking in particular. And then, you know, the respect that I got from that was just some ultimate, giving me a pound, yo, shorty, you did your thing. You know, that, like, my heart was like, yes, love and respect leads to power, you know. And so from there, I started to teach, started to travel.
Please give it up for DJ Kuttin Kandi.
Thank you, Lou. I still have to get used to being called veteran, and Rokafella inside was telling me you're an icon, and there's so many women that came before me, and so many other hip-hop legends, and to be recognized as that is definitely an honor, so I'm very blessed. And yeah, I've been doing it nearly 15 years now, and it's like Brock said, it's definitely our life. It is our career, our life. It's what we dedicate to, whether we make money or not. We're doing it, you know? And this is our passion. And I got into this, into DJing originally just through, you know, being around other DJs, listening to music, collecting records, vinyl.
Well, our last but not least grantee is someone who I met recently and actually have heard about a long time ago. She's actually from the West Coast, from the Bay Area, but her work is so powerful that I was hearing about it here. Please give it up to Vanessa Nisperos.
Thank you so much. I just got to put out there that I'm like really honored to be on this panel. I started DJing in '98, and I used to do college radio at a little radio station in San Jose called KSJS. And I studied radio in college, and I got to work with like Sway from The Wake Up Show and KMEL, which is like Hot 97 out here. And it wasn't until I got to the radio station, it was like, put the brakes on my radio aspirations, because I really started to see how there were no stories of powerful women within commercial rap music. We are creating a network where you can click and find any state, any city that you're in, women that are doing cultural production in a really creative way, in a really empowering way. Right on the top of our list of DJs, Kuttin Kandi, of course. And the thing is, with having this website, is you really start to see like there is just a prolific amount of information, a prolific amount of women out there, and just because they're not on, you know, the radio stations and they're not on the network television stations does not mean that they don't exist. So we want to have this as a resource for everyone to go to.
What we're doing here is actually being social entrepreneurs. And right now there's a movement, a social entrepreneurship movement, which started around the same time hip-hop started 35 years ago. And what that is an entrepreneur who is creatively trying to solve a problem. And they do it with some capital, money, and a lot of social capital. And so what you've witnessed are projects that have both. And so I like to talk about that a little bit, because we don't see the value of our social capital, not as much, because the media puts value on jewelry and bling bling and material stuff, right? But we actually, our community is very valuable, and once we tap into that community and we organize the community, it's worth a lot more than any material, cars and houses. Why? Because that's human capital, right? That's humanity coming together. And when humanity comes together, we can do anything.